You will not force.
12 workshops in a short space of time. I think the real successes are the ones that we ran with that were customized for specific course teams, where we had a very much engaged and galvanized course directors, looked at ABC, thought, right, we want to do something with our course. ABC looks like a method to act as a catalyst to get us thinking. So we had an excellent workshop very early on with the MSc in geography, the geography departments. And other successes were in a medical sciences team and a biological sciences team. And they were the ones that really, really worked best. Getting people to come to piecemeal, people from different departments, different divisions of the university with different needs, didn't work quite so well. So I'm really a fan of the customized workshop. Customization is an ongoing process. We started with the basic ABC set of materials from UCL and the formats. And as we went along, we realized things that were working and not working. And I kept a workshop journal in which we recorded how the workshops had gone, who'd been there, some feedback, and also how we felt materials were working. One of the very early things we discovered was that this long 20-minute introduction was holding things up. I don't think we could deliver it at quite the pace that Clive and Natasha were doing. So one of the early changes was to break that up. So we would do a quick 10-minute introduction, possibly even less than that, to the whole method. And then for each activity, we introduced it as we went along. We wrote a script, partly because we were a bit unfamiliar with it ourselves, and also because the idea was that a number of learning technologists would get involved. In the end, there are only about 3 of us in the central learning technology team and 1 or 2 in the medical sciences team who actually facilitated the workshops. But we have this sort of detailed script, so you could pick it up at any time, even if you hadn't done a workshop for 3 months, and know how that was, how to run, what things to say. That evolved as well. We made small tweaks to some of the activities. Some aspects were very UCL institution specific, like the blending slider and the use of the dots for the curriculum. So we dropped those. We turned the blending slider, I think, into, it was something else. Maybe it was to do with that, the use of digital technologies, how much you wanted to use. And then we realized what we were doing was tacitly giving this, or implicitly giving this message that actually you should be using more technology, and we didn't want that. So that was not what we were telling them, so we moved it completely. As far as the learning activity cards go, we did find some things that weren't totally satisfactory, trying to work out the difference between investigation and practice. We also had trouble with the collaboration card, because collaboration really isn't a learning activity. And I was involved in a predecessor project called the Learning Designer, where we were embedding that sort of ontology of learning activity types into an intelligent tool. This was back about 10 years ago. And collaboration was not one of the learning activity types then. And it's more of a mode of learning. So I think one of the big changes that I would recommend going forward is to drop that particular card. Use another way to indicate which activity is going to be collaborative. If you're in a customized workshop, it is, I would say, almost essential to spend time with the course director or whoever the program lead is in advance to reach a mutual understanding, so that he or she knows what it is that we're trying to get across to them, and we understand their context. And one of the advantages of the Canvas early adopter phase was that each early adopter had a dedicated learning technologist, and where possible, that learning technologist came to the workshop. So there was already that understanding between them. How you replicate that or emulate that at scale was going to be one of the big challenges to going forward. I mean, the thing that I really found interesting was seeing the move from this sort of over-sophisticated, impossible to use allegedly intelligent program we developed in 2009, 2010, how the essence of that whole sort of ontology of learning design has come out of that and gone into paper and pencil. And the whole thing becomes much more fluid. You don't have to worry about whether people understand what the terms mean, because they can start interpreting them for themselves. And it really is an interesting example where simple methods, non-digital methods, that can actually are superior in some respects. This is the thinking process to digital ones. The challenge then is to get that back into a digital environment in the form of the Canvas course or whatever it is you're doing.